I remember when I was in high school, I would always tell myself that I have way too much going on right now. Whenever I graduate into the next class, essentially, if I was a freshman, then maybe when I became a sophomore, and I could handle the workload of high school properly then, or maybe a certain semester would pass, and I would just have an easier time, then I would go ahead and actually pursue the things that I actually wanted to pursue. And more often than not, all the time, what would actually happen is that the entire year would go by and I would actually have not put in any work at all whatsoever into something that I actually really wanted to pursue. Summer would come around then. Summer would come around, I would have all this time and I would be like, man, I just want to like really relax. I want to just take it easy. I don't really want to do anything difficult because obviously I had an entire year of just like working all the time, right? And I would just constantly tell myself in the summertime that I just want to chill. I don't want to really do anything. I just want to, basically relax and recoup. And the first month of summer would go by like that. The second month of summer would definitely go by like that. And then the third month would just go by as well. And this was a recurring theme in my life as well. I went to college, started college, and did everything. And I was like, man, I can't really do any of the passions or the hobbies that I actually really want to, or work on the dreams and the goals that I actually have because I'm working part time and I'm also going to school full time. So I literally just never had the time. I was always waiting for these perfect conditions to start whatever it is that I actually wanted to do. And that time never came. Those perfect conditions never happened. Something in my life always held me back into pursuing the things that I always wanted to pursue. And that really is the lesson that you cannot wait for the perfect conditions for you to actually start working on your dreams and goals because the perfect conditions just don't exist in the first place. You see, something is always going to go wrong in your life, man. I don't know how many times we expect life not to actually go wrong, but before you know it, something else is going wrong in your life, and it's basically just a pattern. You're promised and you're guaranteed that, things are going to happen. You're going to face some loss. You're going to experience some trial. And you're probably going to go into depression. You're going to be sad about things. Are you still going to just wait around and still wait for perfection? You're still going to wait until your conditions are absolutely perfect. Think about whatever it is that you actually want to pursue in your life. Even if it's just like learning a new language or maybe learning a new skill. Like, for example, if you want to learn a new language, I always wanted to learn Arabic. And I would always tell myself that, yes, I'm going to learn Arabic and I'm going to do it after I graduate college, or I'm going to do it before I start my full time job, or I'm going to do it when things kind of like settle down and I get into the habit of just going to work on a daily basis and whatnot. And whenever it becomes easier for me, maybe when I'm put on an easier project that's not as mentally draining, I'm going to start it then. And to be very frank with you, I literally never started it until like 2 years ago. But that's the thing. When I actually started learning Arabic, when I started attending the classes at the local mosque that I go to, that's all that I actually needed. I didn't need some perfect condition for me to actually get started learning Arabic because I promise you, it's just a facade. It's just something that we always constantly tell ourselves to procrastinate because we want ease. We don't want to do the hard things in life, and that's completely normal. Your brain doesn't want your life to be hard, but for to gain the things that you actually want to have, you need to do the hard things every single day. And only after doing the hard things every single day does it actually become easy. When I actually first started my Arabic class, I felt the coursework. I felt like it was a lot. I felt like I had to put in a lot of time just to study and whatnot. And I felt like it was basically taking over my life. But as the days went by, the weeks went by, and the months went by, I started finding it easier to actually manage the coursework. So guess what? My conditions for working and pursuing my goals automatically improved because I was already pursuing them. Now, look, there might be something that's a very extreme situation in your case that is going on in your life that you just don't have any time or energy to actually pursue those dreams and goals. And that's completely understandable as long as you're being honest to yourself about it. As long as you are not waiting for some magical eureka moment to come along and just make your life fall into place all at once, because I promise you it's not going to happen. I have still been hoping for it to happen, and I have been hoping for it since I was a kid, but like, to be honest with you, shit just happens, dude. Like, shit goes wrong all the time, and you cannot wait for this one magical moment when your life is just absolutely perfect for you to pursue your dreams, you to pursue your passions. It's just never going to come. And if you keep on waiting for that moment to happen, then I got bad news for you. You're just going to watch your life pass you by, and once you're old and you're frail, you're going to figure out and look back at your life and see that you accomplished absolutely nothing, because you were always waiting for perfection to arrive. And guess what? Perfection never existed in this life. You just had to push through the tough times, and that was the secret of it all. That is what made your conditions perfect in the first place. Not necessarily perfect, but it just made your conditions so much better. If you want to go back to school, you need to go ahead and start doing that. Maybe you can't handle a full time student's coursework right now because you have to work full time. But then just take one class this semester. Then the next semester take another class. Take two classes on, and you'll quickly realize that this plate of time that you actually have, you can actually fill in more things as you get used to them, as you keep on putting in the work, because your brain actively wants to make things easier for you that you actually do. And that's also Parkinson's law as well. Anything that you allocate a given amount of time to it, that's how long that activity is actually going to take you. So if you have a task that you've been working on and you've given yourself a month to do that task, I promise you it's going to take you a month to do it. That same task, if you give yourself a week to do it, I promise you it's only going to take you a week. And the best example that I could potentially think of from my life itself is literally just putting up the laundry. If I give myself a week to put up the laundry, I promise you I'm gonna take an entire week. But if I give myself 1 or 2 days, I'm only gonna take that much time. So create the working conditions that you want. Just pursue your dreams, just pursue your goals, and you need to stop waiting on the perfect working conditions to actually come into play, because they're never gonna come. All right, guys. This was it for today's episode. If you like this, if it helped you out at all, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video as well. I make YouTube videos like this every single day. And this was the Daily Lessons Podcast, episode number 122. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.